Who's taking the UFC 310 co-main event? Will it be Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Garry? See who fighters are picking in the latest edition of MMA Pros Pick.
Funny enough, man, a lot of people not gonna believe me, but I think Ian Garry is gonna win. You know what I mean? By the skin of his teeth. Just like the rest of his wins that he had. Whether that's with MVP or with Jeff Neal. He does a good job of staying safe and surviving. And if you don't have the feet to kind of hunt down guys like that, where they're constantly moving and they're constantly evading, and you set up traps, obviously, yet again, you're not going to be able to land those power shots. With Shavkat, he just stands up, he waits on guys too much, and yet again, you have two guys that are willing to fight and get into the fire. If you get in the fire with Shavkat, you're gonna get burned. But I don't see Ian Garry, running into that burning house. So he's gonna try to, flee and invade the whole time. And I can see Ian Garry getting his hand raised by decision.
Woo! Woo! Man, that's a good fight. I'll keep it short. There's some sparring footage that came out of Ian Garry and Shavkat. I think that they're both going to be very familiar with each other, and I will go out on a limb and say I think this fight goes to a decision. I think that these guys are familiar with each other enough to where they're going to negate a few of the attacks, and it's going to be a matter of who can come in there and throw a new wrinkle into their game to throw throw off the opponent. So I think that obviously, I think for Shavkat, if he can find a way to get this fight to the mat, I think that could benefit him a lot. And for Ian, I think that it's just going to be a matter of, I think that if he can change stances a little bit, use the kicks, I think he can have a lot of success. But when it's all said and done and the dust settles, I think Shavkat walks out with his hand raised and is the rightful #1 contender.
Oh, dude, they're both good, but I got to go with the former M1 champion. It just makes us all look good, right? Shavkat. And, I'm going to go with him. My Kazakhstanian brothers.
Yeah, two great undefeated fighters. Wow. I actually haven't seen that news myself today. I've been hustling. So I'm a big fan of Shavkat, though. He's a very intriguing fighter. And, sometimes I think it's hard for the more Western fighters to adjust to that style. The kickboxers from, that region, or the mixed martial arts from that region, have just a different style. Like I've trained a lot from the different stands, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan and Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, and they just bring something a little different. Like their hooks are kind of more that classic Soviet style. There's a little more loopiness to them, and sometimes I think it's hard for the Western fighters defensively to adapt to that style. So that's a great matchup for UFC 310. In this matchup, I mean, Ian Garry's great. He's a great finisher, but not all of his performances have been that dominant. Mm-hmm. And just style-wise, I would lean towards Shavkat.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of people didn't want to fight Shavkat because he's that guy, man. I think he's going to have a bit of an advantage over Ian Garry. I think he's going to take that one. Ian Garry's a great fighter, and they're both, excellent fighters. I think it could go either way, but I just think right now Shavkat is due for a title fight soon. He's got a tough task against Ian Garry, but I think he's going to take that one.
I mean, look, Ian Garry is like, people hate him, but the guy's winning fights, and he's backing his fights up, so you really can't hate too much about Ian Garry. I feel like Ian Garry's gonna go out there and do what he always does. So I'm Ian Garry on that one.
I hope Ian Garry gets demolished. I don't know. I just can't stand him. Just the way he talks. Like, just because you talk louder don't mean. I don't know. He just irritates me.
Do you think he loses? Because they're both undefeated. So and they've trained together.
Oh yeah,
do you
yeah.
think Shavkat will get it done?
Yeah, I think he does. I don't think Ian Garry's that good. Like when he fought, I thought MVP won that fight.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I don't see him winning.
I got Shavkat.
I got Shavkat, man. I don't like Ian Garry. I don't like him.
I think he's done some things outside the cage that obviously people don't like. But just looking at Ian Garry the fighter, do you think even Ian Garry the fighter will get it done, or do you think Shavkat still got his number?
I think Shavkat still get his number. Shavkat's good. I mean, he did look human in the Jeff Neal fight. But
You know, I mean, Gary's been doing well too, but the guys he's been fighting, I mean, I don't know, just. I mean, he did good, but if you look at the fights, how the fights went, like, I don't know, I'm not too impressed.